Hey everybody, this is Bradley from Bradley Teaches, and today I'm going to show you how to make logo reveals, so stay tuned. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how to make a version of that, and then there is a second overlay, not overlay, I call everything overlays, logo reveal that I'm going to show you. So just to make sure that you've seen them, that's the one with music, but I wanted to show them to you again real quick. So here's the sample of mine, and this is without sound, as you can tell. All right. And then there's a second one that I'm going to show you how to do, which was a version of the one I did for Revivify. I'm going to show you guys how to build this one. But let me show you, before we build mine, let me show you something. There's a couple of things that were not done in Keynote. I always want to let you know what is done in Keynote and what is not done in Keynote. And part of my logo reveal was not done in Keynote. All the animation was, but a couple of the graphics were not. Mainly my Memoji, which you all know I had a video that showed you how I did the Memoji. But I just want to show you that it was not done in Keynote. So I have this Memoji, which is, you know, me smiling, both eyes open. Then I have this Memoji, which is one of my eyes closed, right? And what I did in a separate program is save both of those heads as different graphics, one with the eye open, one with the eye closed. So that is the wink that you see in the animation. So I always want to forewarn you all and let you know that some things I did not do in Keynote, and that graphic I did not do in Keynote. So it works with other stuff, but I'm just showing you a graphic that I did that was not in Keynote. So with that, we're going to jump into Keynote and do this animation. As you see here, preloaded, I have my eyes open graphic and I have my eye closed graphic, right? So I just wanted to show you guys that. So we can do some other graphic and, you know, but I wanted to show you the full animation it took to do mine, right? So you can do a graphic that's not extra animated like mine was, but I just want to show you all the pieces I did for mine, right? All right. So with that in mind, we're going to start building this thing. Now, here's something that I want you to learn also is the keystroke to make your Keynote window smaller. Built into Keynote, you can go down to about 25%, right? In some cases, that's small enough. But in other cases, that's not small enough because you have to build a lot of big graphics. And today, both of the animations I'm going to show you has a lot of big graphics. So you may need even more space around your slide to do them. So to make that happen, to make your slide even smaller, I want you to learn this keystroke, which is Apple Shift, comma, right? And that makes the slide even smaller. Apple Shift period, you know, it's the two carets, greater than, less than, makes your slide bigger. So those are the two keystrokes to memorize now. Apple Shift, comma, Apple Shift period. And they're actually the little caret symbol, and it makes your slide bigger and smaller. So I want you to remember that, and we should be good to go. All right, so for this design, we're going to do circles. The head is going to come out, a little circle's going to come out behind it, things like that. So let me show it to you really one more time, just so you're sure about it. Show it to you one more time. So all the circles come out, a filled out circle comes out, the logo head comes out, and then we do the animated eye and text, right? So here we go. To do that, you need to build shapes like we built for the chasing light countdown timer, right? So to do that, we're going to do shape, circle, and I'm going to hold down Option Shift as I drag out and it centers it. So I'm going to make the circle bigger than the slide. So you want to make the circle bigger than the slide as I have here, right? Now you want to make a second circle, shape, circle. And let's make it a different color so we can see it. And I'm going to hold down Option Shift for this too, to scale out from the middle, right? And I'm going to make it have a really thick border as long as the outer ring is bigger than the whole slide. That is the telltale sign. The outer ring has to be bigger than the whole slide, right? So now I'm going to go in here. I'm going to select both of those circles. Go to Format, Shapes and Lines, Subtract Shapes, right? So now we have a big blue ring that goes all the way around the slide. It's bigger than the slide, right? So with that, that is our main shape, and we're going to copy and paste that shape. Depends on how many colors you want. I did 4 colors, and I guess give you a little backstory about the colors of mine. I have pink, purple, gray, yellow, then a solid blue. The reason for that is, as I've always tell you guys, I am Alana's pawpaw. That's kind of in remembrance of my granddaughter. Her favorite colors were pink and purple. So that's the pink and purple. The gray, yellow, and blue are my brand colors, right? So that is the reason for the colors. So so let's set this thing up. We're gonna select the first one, and we're just gonna copy paste it. Copy, paste, 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 paste. So what is that? 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 colors is good enough. Let's delete that last one. All right, so you have 4 shapes that are the same size, right? So now you just click through these shapes and make them a different color. So I'll click the top one and color fill, make one yellow, make one green, we'll leave one blue, and make one red, right? So everybody with me so far? So we did circles that were bigger than the slide, as you see that ring all the way around the slide, and we just copied it 4 times, right? So now what I want to do, because in my version right now I have my logo Memoji on the top, I want to just slide all these rings beneath that, right? It doesn't matter what order right now. It does matter what order you want the colors to come out in, but right now in the animation it doesn't really matter how the colors are set up. Now I'm gonna make the circle, the last blue circle that fills up the slide, right? So I'm gonna go back to shape, circle again, hold down Option Shift, and just drag that circle bigger than the slide, right? So that's my final color that's gonna fill up the slide. So all the colors come out, the last color comes out and fills the slide, right? And because I already have a blue one, let's make this one gray. Yeah, there's no key command for that. That is your object list. And I did a video some time ago about how to set up your Keynote to make it better for doing animations. So please go back and watch that video. There may be a, let's see, maybe under view. Yeah, I'm not sure what the keystroke is to show the object list, but that's what that is. It's called the object list. And I did a custom toolbar and I showed you guys how to do one, a custom toolbar that you want to set up that makes doing animations and art in Keynote easier. So you definitely want to go watch that video about doing, about setting up your Keynote. But let's just see real quick. I'll just look for it. Object. Hide object list, show object list. Yeah, so if you go to view, you'll see right here, it's under the view menu. Go to view, and yours should say show object list because mine says hide object list. So go under view, show object list, because that's what this is over here. But good question. All right, so we have our colored circles. We have the fill circle. So we're going to drag it right above the other ones, right? And now in mine, I have kind of 2 layers of text and things like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my text now too. I'm gonna go ahead and build out kind of the rest of my logo reveal. So add text. Let me get this down out of the way some. And mine was called Bradley Teaches. Okay. Oh, Avenir next, bold. Yeah, I just saw a thing that you guys have a menu, and that's actually going on in here. Let me see. Let me reduce the size a little bit. Don't crop the fill. There you go. You guys can see it. Should be able to see it better now. All right. So Bradley Teaches. I'm not going to do a bunch of layout design on this. I just wanted to show you guys. Okay. So Bradley Teaches. Yeah, you know me. I always got to do something extra. Okay. So Bradley Teaches, and I have my second line that says Ecamm, blah, 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 blah. So let's go here and get that down a little bit. Ecamm, what do I say? Keynote video graphics. I spelled graphics wrong. All right. So now that's the other part of my text, right? So this is kind of the ending screen of my logo reveal, right? So now we actually have one more piece to put in it, which is the circle that goes behind my head. So let's put that circle in. Add shape, circle, and shift option, drag it out. Now, as I said, we're building my logo right now, right? So this might not even be stuff that you want to do, but I wanted to show you all the pieces so you know how to kind of build a logo out, right? So there's the bubble behind my head. There's all the text. So this is the finished, so to speak, look, right? It's going to have my head in a circle. Bradley Teaches, Ecamm Live. So now let's do all the animations, right? So we're going to start off with the bottom circle and build our way up with animations, right? Now, you know what? I'm going to delete all these animations because I want to show you what they are. All right. So all of these are going to be built-in animations, right? So we're going to go to the first shape, which is that bottom shape. We're going to go to animate, build in. And we're going to use the scale animation, right? And we're going to put the duration up to 1 second. All right. And just to show you, let's see how this looks. Oh, it just flashed in because, yeah, nothing else is there. My bad. All right. All right, so first animation, 1 second. Good. All right. Now, next, we're going to do the following circle. So we're going to do the circles in reverse. And actually, the reason you didn't see that animation because the gray box was there. That's why you didn't see it. So scale, we're going to do all of them scale up 1 second. So we're going to go backwards. So the yellow one, scale up 1 second. Green, add an effect, scale up 1 second. Blue, scale 1 second. Red, scale 1 second. All right, so now we have each circle scale out taking 1 second, right? So now we also want to do the gray circle. It's gonna also grow, right? So we're gonna do it, scale, we're not gonna fade and scale, we're gonna scale, scale, and we're gonna do it 1 second. All right, so now you will be able to see the animation actually work, right? So the first one goes first. The second one, we're gonna have it build with the first one with a delay. So build with number 1, 0.10 delay. The next one, build with number 1, 0.2 delay. The next one, build with number 1, 0.3 delay. And the last one, which is our circle, we're going to say build with number 1, 4 delay, right? So the first one builds out. It's going to take a second to go out. Then each one will come out 0.1 behind it. And then the gray one comes out, right? So that's all we did. And you want to make sure that all of them say build with number 1. And to make that happen, you drag the layer into the layer above it. See how that line is popping out, right? So that's how you do it. So now let's preview it, right? And we'll preview that one more time. So you'll see all the circles come out, but they're bigger than the slide, so they come out and disappear, right? Because this is the final size of it. So let's try it again, right? And that's that animation. It's that simple, right? So with that part of it being done and all the parts that leave the screen done, let's go ahead and zoom back in to our slide a little more, right? Probably go down to 50 so it'll fit on my screen. Okay, because we don't have to worry about the rings anymore. The rings are done. All those animations came out. So now we're going to do the Memoji head with the eye open, right? Then we're going to make it move up. Then we're going to do the Memoji head with the eye closed, and then the Memoji head with the eye open again. So it'll appear, move up, blink, right? So that's what we're about to do now. So we're going to go to the Memoji head eye open, and we're going to stack them. So now this is all kind of my design, right? So this might be the part where you might want to take a nap or something, but it'll help you kind of work through an animation if you do an animation like mine, right? And you know what? Let's skip the animation part and just have the head come out and move up. Let's do that. Because unless you're doing an animation like that, it might not fit for you. Now that's up to you guys. If you want me to do the full animation with the eye opening and closing, let me know, and I can show that to you. But let's first, so we're gonna build it in. So this is the eye open. We're gonna go build in, and we're gonna do a build in of this one. We're gonna pop it in. Let's pop. We're gonna pop it in, and we have a duration of 0.75, and we're going to have it come in after build number 5. So after build number 5, and we're going to put a delay on it also. Yeah, but let me know if you want to see the whole animation of the eye. Okay, see the whole thing. Cool. All right. So we had it built in with a pop. right? And then we're going to have it move up, and then we're going to have it blink, right? So eye open, shows up, we're going to have it move up, then the circle come in, all that kind of stuff. All right, so eye open. So that's the first one. Cool. Thank you guys. All right, so now we have the eye open, animated, coming in with a pop, and we'll show it again. And you don't see it now because all the other stuff is in the way, but it popped in, trust me. All right, so now that it popped in, we're gonna do a move on the head. Now this is not a build-in, it's an action. So while the head is still selected, I'm gonna go to action, and I'm gonna build an action called move, right? And as you see, it moved over to the side, which is what I don't want. And here's a cool thing about the move actions, which the next animation I'm gonna show you has move stuff in it. So you wanna kind of pay attention here. So this is the end of the move, right? So where I want my head to end up is kind of right above where it was, right? So I'm just gonna slide it up just a hair to there. So that's the move, right? So it pops in, moves up some. Now, after it moves, I want the second circle to pop in, right? So now I can click my second circle and kind of inch it up to where it encompasses the head. And I can always go back to that moved head to see where it was. Because when you're doing moves and stuff, it can get confusing because stuff is not where you originally put it, but you have to click on the move animation to kind of see. It's kind of like old school onion skinning, what animators call onion skins. If you've ever done kind of like the little, I read a lot when I was a kid, I read a lot now. I would draw these little stick figures in books and flip the pages, right? And you see the little animation moving a little bit on each page. This is that kind of thing, and it's also called onion skinning. So you can kind of see that onion skin, that little light layer of where it moved to. So that's the effect you're seeing right now. So that's the onion skin. So we have the head pop in, we have the head move up, and now we're going to have the circle scale in. But it's a build in, right? So we're going to have the circle, effect, scale, and as you saw just then, it just scaled in, right? So we have the head pop in. We're going to have the head move. So let's slide that up into the last one. And after build 6 is fine. We're going to have the circle after build 7 is fine. So all these things kind of go that way, right? So we have the pop happens and it moves at 0.75 seconds. The move, let's make that a little faster. Make that 0.8 seconds. Then we're going to have the last bubble scale in, but we're going to have that fairly quick overall. So we're going to scale that bad boy down to like 3.3. Yeah, the flip book. Yep. Now let's play what we have, right? And you know what? I'm going to move those other two Memoji heads to the bottom right now, just so they're not in the way. But I'm going to show you what they look like. All right, so here we go. You see that? So you saw all the sprites come out. You saw the circle fill the other circle. It moved up, and then the bubble came behind it. Yeah, now the closed island was in the way because I haven't made a build-in for it yet. You're kind of seeing all the work it takes to do it, right? So we have circles go out, circle fill, Memoji head moves, circle comes behind Memoji head, right? So now we're going to build in the Bradley Teaches and the Ecamm Keynote graphics part, right? So let's go to Bradley Teaches, click on it. We're going to do a build-in of it of cube. Now I like to do my, you can do your cube any way you want to, but I like to do my cube kind of a roll-up kind of cube. So I'm going to do mine bottom to top. And I'll preview that again. See how it kind of rolls up. All right, so We're going to play that after number 8. So we still kind of happening with each other, right? So that's after 8, and we're going to delay it and then have it come in a little quicker. So after 8, 0.2 delay, roll in a little quick, right, with a bounce. Now we're going to animate in the text, right? I mean the tagline, I guess you call it. So we're going to build that in with a, what did I use on that? I think I used compress. Yep, just like that. So we're going to compress that in, center justified, and we're going to have it come in kind of slow, so 1 second is fine. And we're going to have it delay and come in after Bradley teaches, let's say about half a second. So let's preview all that. All right, so now we have the final touches stuff, right? Now, this can be a little complicated, but because I made the head move, where I see it now is not its final location. So I have to do a little, eyeballing and fidgeting to get the next two things to line up, right? So now let's move the closed eye and open eye back on top again. And a good way to do this, so I have the closed eye selected and the open eye move. So open eye move, and I'm, like I always tell you guys, have the ruler out. So I'm going to kind of just eyeball it right now. So I'm going to do the ruler and drag a line. And it looks like it ends roughly right there. Okay. So closed eye, I'm going to inch it up to where it touches that line. It might be kind of a close but no cigar kind of thing. So we're going to have the closed eyeball just appear. It's just going to appear, right? So we're going to go to build in, add effect, appear. Because it's just going to snap in really quick and not have any kind of blurs or anything. You just want it to seem like the eye is snapping closed, right? But with that, we're going to have it come out with number 10, but we're going to have a delay. I think I had a delay of about 3 seconds. Now, all of these delays are based on the music that I have, because as you notice, at the end of my music, I had like this kind of like that, and the eye blinked with that. So that's kind of a timing type thing. And then after the blink, we have the open eye again, right? So we have another open eye, and we need to move that up to match up with the closed eye. And this is all still kind of spitballing because I want to do it with some speed, but they have to be, you want things to be precise and lined up, right? So now we have another open eye, and we're going to make that show up as an appear, right? And we're going to have that one come out after 11 with a slight delay. So it'll be a kind of a blink and open back up. So now all the pieces are in. So now let's kind of flip through it real quick. Let's do a preview of everything. Go to the top. Let's preview. Circles, fill circle, head pops in, head moves up, everything comes in, blink, open back up. So let me walk you through the steps again really, really quick. All right. But this is how I made my animation, right? So the parts are 4 circles or however many circles you want, but they have to be bigger than the slide. And we make them like we make the chasing light counter. So you make a big circle, you make an internal circle, and then you cut a hole out of the first circle with the second circle, right? And you want all those circles to be bigger than the slide. So they're all bigger than the slide. And I have 4 in mind, right? Then you make a circle that's bigger than the slide, that's filled in with whatever color you want the slide to be when you're done. right? So rings come out, a filled circle comes out and fills the slide with the color, right? Then I have my logo come out, which is the open eye version. So that's my O PNG. A circle comes out behind it. Then my eye closes, my eye opens, and we have the text animations, right? So now let's start it up again. Let's just ramp this bad boy up and play it one more time. So, and you'll see everything kind of in the background as you see the pieces move. So circles come out, fill circle comes out, right? You see the eye blink, opens back up, right? So that is the animation I use for mine. The timings on the end pieces, which are the Bradley Teaches, the Ecamm Keynote video graphics text, the eye closing, and the eye opening back up, all those things are based on my music. So that may or may not float for you, right? So that's it. So we'll preview it one more time, and then I'll show you guys the next animation, and we'll do that one. And now what I'm going to do is let me show you the second animation one more time. And I'm going to show you guys how to make that one, right? So if y'all are good for that, let's go into Keynote again and let's make this animation. All right, so here we are back in Keynote. I'm starting a brand new project, and I'm going to just use the white one as usual, create. And I'm going to do my usual select all by dragging, selecting, and deleting. Now, this animation is not as complicated as the other one, and it really only has 3 pieces, potentially 4 if you have text, right? But there's some complication in the idea because it uses a lot of animations, right? But it's going to be cool. I think you guys are going to like this one, and it's going to be a good one for you to explore with and do some customized stuff. So let me show you that real quick. So we're going to start with this, a basic animation, a basic slide, select everything, delete it. We're going to go back to shape, and we're going to do circle again. I know some people make fun of me doing circles on everything, but you can use whatever shape you want. So I'm going to do Option Shift, and I'm going to drag it out. Yeah, that's a decent size. Let me see what size that was. Roughly 500, a 500 point circle. And I'm going to turn on my ruler because I want to drag and get center lines. The cool thing about Keynote is whenever you add a new shape, it puts it in the center of the slide. And if you hold down Option and Shift, as you scale it out, it'll scale from the center, right? So it stays centered. Then you can just use the ruler guides to draw your center points. Because for some odd reason, it won't drag center points on the slide itself. It won't snap. So, but once you do a shape, you're good. So I have shape number 1, right? And let's go out of build order real quick. So these are the parts you need. So shape number 1, I'm going to color this shape blue, okay? And now I need to zoom out. I'm going to zoom out. And I'm going to do a second shape, which is another circle. Shape, circle. And we're going to make this circle where it kind of goes out of the slide. So, like this is roughly good enough. We're going to make it red, and we're going to drag it over to where it's not touching the first one, right? And then make sure it's on the line, kind of centered. I'm just arrow mousing down. You can drag and do yours however. So you just want another circle that's big enough to where it gets off the slide. You don't want all the edges to be within the slide. So those are the 2 shapes, and that is basically it, excluding your logo, right? So now let's go to Object List, and what you want to do is have, I'm going to label these circles because it's going to be some complication here in a minute. So B circle, as long as you name them whatever. And actually this red circle will be white at some point. So I'm gonna call it W circle because it will be white. But doing it in a color first makes it easier to animate, if you kind of hang with me on that. So in the final look, right, you're gonna see a white bubble in the middle. But we're gonna do some things that makes it look like the bubbles are morphing. So in the end, this red bubble will be white. But for right now, for visuals, I'm making it red, an easy color to see. So now I'm going to add another shape, and this is going to be my logo. This is going to be kind of a dummy logo shape, and that's going to be a star for me now. So this is where you would put your logo in this scenario, right? Because your logo is going to end up in the middle of the page, in the middle of the circle. So I'm just going to use kind of a shape as my logo, and I'll just call it logo. And then we're going to add another layer, or it's going to add text. That's going to be our tagline. And we can just say, make it whatever you want. I'm just going to say cool stuff about me. Cool stuff about me. All right. And I'm gonna make that bold, kick it up. All right, I'm gonna center that. You should snap. Okay. So now that's your logo and your tagline. So we have two circles, one circle in the center, one circle that's just big enough to go off the slide, our logo, in this case, which is the star, and our tagline, which says cool stuff about me, right? So now we're only going to have, well, the text will be a built-in, but we're going to use the animation option, not a lot, but mostly, right? So we're only going to build in very little, but then once it builds in, we're going to be using animations. So now let's step through this thing. So we're going to get the bottom circle. We're going to click the animate palette. So the first thing it's going to do, we're going to scale in just like we did on the other animation. So scale 0.75 is good. And because we want it to be that size. So that's it, right? So that's the first one. So after you do that, let's click build order so we can get that window popped up again like we like it. And I'm going to make it fairly long because we're going to be doing some stuff. All right. So now we got the B circle built in. So now we're about to start some animations. So that same circle, the B circle, make sure it's selected. And instead of build in, we're going to go to action. All right. And now the action is going to be scale. So we're going to scale it again. So it's scaled in to come in, but we're now going to scale it again, right? All right, so action, scale. So now we're going to scale this bad boy up now to where it's bigger than, so it's big enough to go off the slide, right? So I was doing mine like 550, something like that. So I'm gonna do 535. That's cool. All right. So you just want it big enough to go off the slide. I need you to hang with me. All right. So now, so duration 1, scale 535-ish, it's good. All right. Now that we have that as an action, we're going to add another action, which is move. So we're going to go right here in the action palette. We're going to say add action, and we're going to say move. Right? So now you see a little line show up here. The line goes from where your thing was centered to where it's newly centered. That's where the line goes, right? So as you remember, we scaled up from its position, so that's in the middle of the slide, right? We want to move it way over to the right. Not off the slide, but just way over to the right. So we're going to click in the middle. Remember that onion skin? And we're going to drag it about like that. Not off the slide, but we want it kind of like it's going off the slide, right? So now we got it. So it's scale in, scale again, and move at the same time, right? So that's what we're doing. And now at this point, I like to kind of in my build order palette, kind of put stuff together so I don't start getting things jumbled up. So we have the first thing that's scaled in, and we're going to call it after transition, which means it kind of comes in immediately, right? Then the next one, we're going to have it drag in, and we're going to say after transition number 1, it's all good, right? Because if we scale, then scale move, right? So, yeah, scale, then scale move. Now, here's the move part, right? So we have after number 1, but the third one is going to be with number 2. And I'll show it to you, but you'll see the other stuff on the screen. So let's preview it real quick. Ignore the red and the star for right now. See? I'll show it to you one more time. Grows in, moves, and grows at the same time. Grows in, moves, and grows at the same time. Now, what we want to do is make that blue circle even bigger and move it to the left, right? So stick with me. So we're still with the B circle now. So now that we have scale, scale, move, we're going to do another scale move. So we're going to click the B circle. And now we want it from where it is out here, right? So now we're going to, you know what? Yeah, it's going to complicate it, but let's try it out. So we're going to add again. We're going to add an action, and we're going to say scale again, right? So this scale, we're going to kick it up to 1,000. We're going to make it as big as you can make it, right? So now that's that scale. And I'm going to inch it up just a little bit so the 2 lines aren't even, right? So, no, I don't want to do that because that's going to make a problem. All right. So now that that's done, that scale, we're going to move again. Move. So now this move is in the old center, right? And we're going to move this one all the way just over here, right? We need to fill the screen. So we have a scale, move, right? So now let's look at that one. All right, everybody with me? So let's watch them again. Well, let's skip the last one. All right, so now we have another scale move, right? So let's drag this one in here, and we're gonna make that after build 3. And then the next one will be with number 4. Uh-oh, this one. With number 4. So now let's preview those again. Grow, move, move. Everybody with me? And as we see here, we got an extra move that we don't need. Let's delete that. All right. Preview one more time. Scale, move, move, right? All right, so now the blue part is done. We're going to now go to the red circle that will eventually be white, right? So now the red circle, we're going to scale it down and move it over the blue circle. So stick with me. So red circle, we're going to put a action on it. We're still in actions. No more build-ins right now. So red circle, we're still in the action palette, not build-in. So we're going to action. We're going to scale it, right? But we're going to scale it down. right? And we're going to move it. So red circle, action, scale, add action, move. Right? So we're going to move this one over the middle to where it's lined up over the blue one. Right? And as we can see now, the scale is nowhere near the right size. But I just do that just to start the process. So scale, move, right? So now let's go back to the scale of the red one. And let's make the size smaller. So now as you drag it down, you can kind of see, you want it bigger than the blue one and have the exact size of the blue one, but bigger than the blue one, right? Because now basically you're replacing the circle that was there with a bigger circle, if you get my drift, right? All right. So now we're done with that one, right? So white circle scale, let's move that here. We're going to say with that, build width 4, white circle move. We're going to call that one build width 4, right? So now let's preview this bad boy. Right? So that's the animation. Now, we don't want our red circle to be red anymore. We want it to be the color of the slide. So all we got to do now is go up here to W circle. We're going to go to format. We're going to color fill it white. Right? And if, now remember, if we did all that while it was white, it'd be hard to figure it out, right? That's why you're doing a different color. So now let's look at it in a more realistic setting. Right? So it looks like the blue circle gets big, then gets a hole cut out of it. That's the size of another shape, right? So there you go. So after all the animations are done, we basically bring in our logo, right? So let's go to logo. Now this will be another build in. So logo, animate, build in. I'm just going to do a, let's do a scale on that since we're doing all the stuff scale. Let's do that, but let's make it quicker. We'll scale it in quicker. All right, so this one will be, let's make it after number 7 with a, no delay. And then we'll do the cool stuff. We'll do a build-in on that. And let's do that as a cube, right? I just like cube, but we'll roll it up from the bottom to the top again. And we'll knock that down to maybe half a second. And we'll do that after the logo, after build number 8 with a delay of half a second. So let's preview it all, right? So now the screen should be blank when we start, other than that blue circle coming in, moving. All right, so here we go. There we go. And actually, this needs to be a better color than that. Let's do that in memory of the red circle we used to have. All right, so let's start up again. Oh, that's too much contrast. Okay. Make it white, make it easy. All right, there we go. All right, so all the delays and the animations and things are kind of up to you as far as the speed goes. And I'll walk you through one more time. So let's watch the animation one more time. All right, so here we go. So we have basically just 2 circles, as you remember. We have the blue circle, then we did another bigger circle, which I'll recolor again. Let's just recolor it. We'll make it yellow this time. All right, so you have a small circle that's bigger than your logo is going to be, then a bigger circle that goes off the slide. That's all you need to start, right? And then you kind of just step your way through the process. So in this case, B circle, I have it animate in. It actually has a build in of scale. Then after that is strictly animations. So next, after it's in, we scale it bigger and move it to the right, right? Then we scale it some more and move it to the left. But because it's behind the other circle, it looks like a hole is being cut out of it and it's kind of wrapping around something, right? So that's where the secondary circle comes in. That was big and it gets smaller to make a spot for your logo, right? So we scale it smaller and move it at the same time. Logo scales in, or whatever kind of animation you want. Tagline rolls in. And I'm going to do it now with the odd color so you can see all the movement one more time. Right? And so you see kind of that the circle that matches the background kind of creates a mask, right? Now, if I wanted it to be yellow and blue, all I have to do is fill my slide with that color, because I know that question might come up. So document, nothing is selected, format, fill color. Oh, come on. We just make it yellow, right? So now when I do the animation, it's the same hole being cut out kind of thing, right? As long as you make that secondary circle the color of your slide, you're good. You get that bubble, big bubble, cutout bubble animation. So as long as you make that the second circle the same color as your slide, you're golden. But always remember, when you first start the animation, make that second circle some odd color so you can see it, right? So that's it, y'all. Thank you for dropping by and watching this tutorial. If you have comments or questions, please leave them below. I check them all the time and will respond. I may even do a tutorial based on one of your questions. So please let me know what you're thinking about. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button and the bell so you will be alerted whenever I release new videos. Now, if you want a little head start on creating your next graphics, I'll make today's tutorial Keynote files available for you to download. Look for that link. Now, until next time, I am Bradley Vinson, Alana's Pawpaw. Be blessed, be free. See y'all later.